What's up, it's the real Zaki back with another video. This has been a highly requested video. What I did to actually make my first profits, I'm gonna be showing you guys my ads. I'm gonna be showing you guys my sales, pretty much my first day I really said, oh, hey, like I did something. This is about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago essentially, where I made my first couple sales and I was actually making some good money. So essentially, let's get into it. I'm gonna show you exactly. I made about $800 something, about $900 that day. And it was my first day. I did well and I was super excited. I'm gonna show you the product, the ads and everything. It's amazing. Got you guys. See you guys in a little bit. This is the real Zaki back at it with another video. Let me give you guys some backstory. So essentially, I know a lot of you guys know I've been at this for about 5 years, 4.5 years essentially. This is about 16, I'm about to be 21 this March. I've come a long way, I've made a lot of money, but let me show you what my bank account looked like about 2 years ago, right? I don't know if you guys can see that, but that says $1.37, and that's 2 years ago. If you let that sink in, 2 years ago I had $1.37 in my bank account, and this is before I was being profitable. I'm almost negative. I spent a lot of my money on Shopify. I spent a lot of my things. So much mental strain also. Being a 16, 17-year-old kid going through that, there's a lot that goes through into you and goes out of you also. You start to realize, hey, is this really meant for me? You start to realize things about yourself that you never knew or never completely understood or grasped. Once I kind of understood, hey, like, first I realized now I'm a resilient person. I can make it through, especially my parents being like, hey, like, what are you talking about? What are you doing? Like, you're doing 14-hour shifts on the computer and you're not getting paid, and you're pretty much like, you're getting money somehow, some way from uncles, finessing money, like doing little finesses on eBay, and just so many things I was doing and taking place that essentially I got to a point where, hey, like, I had no money left, right? And then it went full circle about 2 weeks later, and this is about maybe early July, almost about 2.5, like practically 2 years ago, more than 2 years ago now, but kind of full circle. Like 2 weeks later, essentially this is my Shopify sales, right? And I remember taking a screenshot of this. I did about $882. One, you can see July 14th, Friday, and this is 2016. It's 2016. I did about $800, and I had to dig through my iCloud to find this, kind of understanding what it took to get there, right? I have some other screenshots of me actually paying my influencers and sending them money via PayPal, and you can see here, you paid Banger High, you paid Christopher Larkin, David Mia, Right Wing. These are all for that $800. I spent about $200 to get that $800. 75 bucks, 20 bucks, 65 bucks, $50, and 25 bucks. And you could see at the bottom the actual products I was using. I did about 400 something dollars that day. And essentially, there's the products that I was actually selling. It was a personalized necklace, essentially. And one of the insane things, I just showed you like practically what got me started, and let me kind of break down the thought process and exactly what I was doing. So, as you guys may know, I was just like you guys. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to really get to the point of, hey, I want to start making money. And I was at this for 2 years. I had shiny object syndrome, so I was jumping from one thing to another. Unfortunately, I started with SEO, jumped to the next thing, jumped to the next thing, jumped to the next thing, and I finally tumbled across Shopify and drop shipping in a sense, and I was never really stuck to it. And then I finally got over and was like, hey, I'm gonna kind of jump back and forth, and then finally one day I was like, I'm gonna stick to this. And this is about practically when I graduated high school, and I was like, hey, I need to make something. I gotta figure something out. I'm really like been at this for 2 years. I've invested too much time to really quit at this point. I really started investing my money, start putting my money into ads and stuff, and it really doesn't really pop off. And I get down to my last $50. Once I invest my last $50, I was like, hey, like, I got really no choice. I gotta make this work. And that's when that $50 turned into 200, and I started to scale. So once I started to scale, I started doing my product research, and at that point I was very closed-minded, and I didn't have enough money to start testing. So all I knew was what people were using examples as: dog niche, cat niche, and all these niches that I know you guys have been through and definitely have used. Once I understood and grasped that, I was like, hey, like, I need to do something outside of the box. So I reached out to a supplier and was like, hey, can you do custom work? And they're like, it's gonna be extra XYZ, but we can definitely make it happen. I was like, cool, no problem, let's make it happen. So that's how I differentiated myself, as in for my product, right? It took me outside of the box. I was offering something that wasn't offered on AliExpress. I had custom dog pendants that really essentially worked with any niche, any niche in the dog niche, so any sub niche, any dog essentially. It was a paw, a bone necklace, and anything it would engraved with the name or whatever. I'm pretty much giving you guys a product that sold. I'm not too sure if it'll sell now, but essentially I did a shout out with it and it did very well. It was about 10x ROI, and I was like, hey, like, this is definitely gonna keep me rolling. And as you guys know, like, I was at $1.37, right? So jumping about 2 weeks later to $882, as I showed you guys, in about 2 weeks in one day. That's really insane, right? And I showed you guys everything that I was using, the product in itself. And one thing that I personally realized then was, especially when it comes down to shout outs, I know a lot of you guys are doing shout outs, a lot of you guys are messing around with shout outs. As you guys saw, I was doing multiple shout outs in one day to equate to a large amount of sales. I did spend about $200 on ads, and maybe I made 800 bucks, maybe 900 bucks. Did I show you guys the other one? It's like later in the same day. It's 909 bucks, and it's like later that same day. July 14th. 909 bucks. I don't know if it's backward for you guys or not, but essentially it was that same day. It was 909 bucks, and since I think I closed the day a little under 1,000 bucks, and I was like, oh shit, like I definitely can make some money. But one thing is I didn't realize is I took a large break between the next time I did some shout outs, and I started building systems. I started lining up shout outs back to back until I had enough data to start running Facebook ads, and I started building a system and started scaling, and now 2 years later I am where I am today. Right? 2 years ago, I was at that point. That was my first day making actual profit, being profitable, making money, right? And I just walked you guys all through. So if you understand some things right now, like don't look at maybe the product, don't look at the ads, just kind of understand what the systems I use and kind of understand what I just kind of went through. So first off, I kind of understood, first my goal was, how do I differentiate myself? I know my niche, I know what kind of products I'm gonna be selling, I know who I'm selling to, I know the pages I'm gonna use, but there's a bunch of people on these pages, there's a bunch of people targeting this niche. How do I differentiate myself? Contacted a supplier, thought outside the box, and the supplier fortunately said yes, but I contacted multiple suppliers before that time, and a bunch of them said no, we can't do it, price is too high for us, this and that. But this one said yes. Very high end, very quality product, and he made it happen. Cool. Perfect, it's great, I love you, pretty much you're gonna make my day. So essentially when I was shouting out these products, I have a different product that nobody else is really offering and can't offer, because I have a custom personalized product for the consumer only. This isn't something, my product and your product are gonna be two different things, especially if I purchase from that site and I buy a custom pendant that says Zaki instead of Melissa, or instead of Michael, or instead of Corbin, or instead of Blake, or whatever it is. There's so many different aspects that go into it, and that gives a personalized feel to the dog bone or this necklace or this piece of jewelry or whatever I'm selling. And they were putting dog names, there were so many factors, and I was scaling this business to over $1,000 a day in about 10 days after that. So imagine how fast life can change, especially if I was at $1.37 2 weeks before that. At the beginning of July 2016, I was at $1.37 in my account, and boom, I'm doing $1,000 a day by the end of July. Look how fast life can change. Once you kind of grasp and understand those things and start to scale your own business and start to understand, hey, I need to start doing bulk shout outs, I need to start reinvesting the money I've made. If I'm working a job, reinvest that money, hood it and test, right? I had no guarantee this money, like I was investing into ads and these shout outs was gonna make me money. I got scammed, I've lost a lot of money before then. Like I was doing so many different things, and there's some techniques that I'm gonna be going over to track which page it was coming from, and essentially there's so many things I was doing. Like let's say, for example, I was doing 5 shout outs. I wanted to know which shout out performed the best. I pretty much copied my exact product page multiple times, added a different letter at the bottom, segmented them, right? So essentially I would know if the orders came from the product page with the letter G, it corresponded with this page on my spreadsheet. Oh, this page did extremely well. Okay, I'm gonna put them on the list of extremely well pages. Oh, this page did extremely garbage. They're a waste of time. I'm gonna go tell them, hey, you got me another shout out. Try to negotiate, hey, can you make something happen? What happened? Give me my money back, give me partial refund, just make something happen, right? And these are the techniques that I used when I was first starting out, and that's really what I did when I first made money online and my first profits, really my first sales. So that's how my first day went, and essentially I'm excited to share that with you guys and kind of walk you guys through my story. And that's really dope. So I'm gonna be back here tomorrow. I know I didn't announce the winner, so that's really what it comes down to. So definitely make sure to drop a thumbs up, subscribe, notification bell, all that good jazz. I'll see you guys next video.